asked you, what is the very next step that you need to take? Do you know what it is? Do you know how? Would you be able to tell me, like just off the top of your head, what is the very next step that you need to take? Sometimes we kind of get all caught up in this forest of stuff we need to do, right? And this is kind of continuing on from what I talked about yesterday, which is really to try to keep things simple. And that's really the theme of what I'm talking about today. Just to minimize the amount of things that you think you need to do. So how can we go about doing that? And how can we determine what the very next step that we need to make is? I like lists. I'm sure you like lists too. Most people like lists. The lists are good to a point, but then it becomes kind of like a game of prioritizing. And often we have these extensive lists which hold a whole lot of information in them, but we don't either have the skills or the time or the wherewithal or the courage to weed them out and really try and prioritize what those things are. So there's a couple of kind of aspects to this, I think, that I've been thinking about, minimizing, keeping minimal the amount of things that you need to work on. One of them is getting really clear on what the big rocks are. Like, what are the big goals you have? What are the big milestones you want to reach? And then basically structuring everything else that you do around those things, because that is going to really help you, number one, know whether or not this task that you're about to do is helping you move in that right direction. And number two, it's going to help you really simplify all of the things that you think you should be doing into things that you might actually really want to do or need to do. So just thinking about this keep it simple thing, I got on a roll yesterday with it as well. I found myself in this kind of forest of overwhelm, and really it came down to getting clear on what it was that I was actually really trying to do. And once I got clear on that, then everything else kind of fell away, and it was very easy to figure out exactly what I should be working on, what the priority should have been. And having that kind of clarity, that moment where everything just falls away and you're like, that's right. And being able to have more of those moments, or to, even try to avoid getting into that forest of overwhelm in the first place, really does come down to making it simple, keeping it simple, and minimizing the amount of things that you're trying to work on at one time. So you have those big rocks and just kind of focusing on one big priority at a time, and not trying to spread yourself out on all kinds of different things. So if right now your priority is to work on developing your design skills, then everything that you should be doing should be around that and working towards that. If your priority is to start growing a creative business, then all of the tasks that you do should be oriented around that. And if you catch yourself doing a task that is not related to that objective, then you need to stop and think, why am I doing this task? Is this actually really taking me in the direction that I want to go? Or is this complicating my life by adding extra things in that aren't actually pulling me in the direction that I want to go in? So there's just some thoughts today I've been thinking about, minimizing and really keeping it simple. And that comes down to really just getting clear on what it is that you really want to do. Which direction do you really want to go in? There's a lot of competition for our attention, for our money, for our time, for our, resources. And getting really clear on what it is that you actually want to do really helps you to cut through that noise and get clear and keep things simple and keep moving forward to your big goals and your big dreams and achieving those. All right, I'm going to leave it there for today. Thanks for joining me, and I look forward to speaking to you again tomorrow. Bye for now.